On November 5th, 1994, a 45-year-old George Foreman stepped into the ring against the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world. For 9 rounds, it was a massacre. Foreman was too old, too slow, and statistically, he was losing every single minute of the fight. The analytics said he was finished. But Foreman didn't need to win 12 rounds. He just needed to win 2 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the 2025 Oklahoma Sooners, the George Foreman of the college football playoff. On paper, they are a statistical anomaly, a glass cannon, with the worst offensive efficiency in the field, but the #1 panic button in the sport. They are the team nobody wants to play, not because they are the best, but because they turn football games into violent coin flips. Today I'm going to break down why this old man, the Oklahoma Sooners, might just be the last one standing. But before we go further, I first wanted to say thank you very much for all the subscriptions and likes on the previous video. I'm very grateful for your support. I didn't feel it would be possible to reach 1,000 subs so soon, but that's our next goal. So if you want to watch more Oklahoma Sooners content, if you like analytic breakdowns, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell, and feel free to share this with someone you think might be interested.
Welcome to Sooner Stats, your home for Oklahoma Sooners coverage.
In the landscape of the 2025 college football playoff, the Oklahoma Sooners represent a statistical anomaly. They are a team of extreme polarity, possessing a championship caliber defense weighed down by an offense that ranks last among contenders in efficiency. But like Foreman, they're not trying to win on points. They're trying to win by knockout. Here's the comprehensive breakdown of how Oklahoma serves as the football equivalent of George Foreman, built on extremes, chaos, and the most reliable chin in the sport. Much like Big George in 1994, viewed as a slow, lumbering relic from the 70s, the 2025 Sooners entered the season fighting the perception that the game had passed them by. Coming off a disastrous 6-7 campaign in 2024, critics claimed the Blue Blood program was unprepared for the speed of the SEC, and the Brent Venables was out of his depth. However, a deeper look into the analytics confirms that Oklahoma's statistical profile is actually the most reliable in the field because it is the most battle-tested. Oklahoma has played 7 games against top 25 SP plus defenses. Contenders like Indiana, Texas Tech, and Miami have played only 1 or 2 such games. While other teams' stats may be inflated by lesser competition, Oklahoma's data is devoid of noise. What we see is exactly who they are, a hardened team that has survived the toughest schedule in the country. In 1994, Foreman didn't try to outdance Moorer. He relied on a granite chin to keep him in the fight when his offense wasn't working. For Oklahoma, that chin is a defensive identity defined as the casino defense: high risk, high reward, agents of chaos. The defining metric of the Sooners is line yards allowed. Oklahoma's defensive front allows just 2.03 yards per carry before contact. This is the best mark in the entire playoff field. They render opposing run games non-existent, forcing teams into one-dimensional passing situations. Just as Foreman's chin allowed him to survive flurries, Oklahoma's defense keeps them alive by ending possessions via catastrophe. Against top 25 offenses, they lead the field in Havoc Rate, which is tackles for loss, plus deflections, plus turnovers. Oklahoma ranks first in Havoc plays, averaging about 16 per game. They rank first in the field in sacks created, averaging roughly 3 per game against top 25 offenses. They rank second in turnovers forced, averaging about 2 per game. Lastly, they average 5 deflections per game, which puts them second in the playoff contenders. Oklahoma does not only try to win by forcing punts, they try to win by ending possessions via sack or fumble. For 9 rounds, Moorer dominated Foreman statistically, landing more jabs and winning the success rate of the fight. Similarly, the prevailing narrative is that Oklahoma's offense is broken beyond repair, because they rank 13th in overall efficiency in the playoff contenders. However, the dead offense narrative is overstated. Critics view Alabama as a Tier 1 contender and Oklahoma as a pretender. Yet, when isolating performance against 5 common SEC opponents, Auburn, LSU, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Missouri, the data shows a statistical tie. Shout out for this graphic from Sooner Nima. The most striking takeaway from this data is how incredibly similar these two offenses are in terms of yardage output. Alabama averages 330 yards per game, while Oklahoma averages 328 yards per game. A mere 2 yards separates their average output against these 5 teams. Despite gaining virtually the same amount of yards, Alabama has scored just 5 more points per game than Oklahoma. This is indicative that Alabama is converting more of their red zone trips into touchdowns, while Oklahoma is settling more for field goals. But 5 points is the only thing that separates these two teams per game. Foreman lost 29 minutes of the fight, but won the 2 seconds that mattered with a single right hand. Oklahoma possesses this exact trait. On standard downs, 1st and 10, they were inefficient, but on passing downs, such as 3rd and long, they transform. When backed into a corner, Oklahoma ranks number 1 in explosiveness among the playoff field. They are the best team in the field at generating miracle plays on 3rd and long. They don't need to sustain a 12-play drive. They just need 1 play. Where's the proof? The 58-yard touchdown pass from John Mateer to Isaiah Satania with 4 minutes left against LSU was the Foreman right hand. Late, sudden, and flattening an opponent who had been winning the flow of the game. To be fair, Big George took a beating before he landed the knockout. His eyes were swollen, and he was clearly losing on the scorecards. Oklahoma has taken similar punishment this season, specifically during the standing 8 count, losses to Texas and Ole Miss. The structural weaknesses are real. While they stop the run better than anyone, they rank near the bottom in total yards allowed when playing top 25 offenses. If an opponent withstands the pass rush, the secondary is susceptible to chunk plays. Additionally, Oklahoma relies heavily on kickers, with 37.2% of their points coming from field goals and PATs when facing top 25 defenses. Lastly, the offense commits 3.57 negative plays per game against top 25 defenses, which are sacks and turnovers. This self-destruction index is the 2nd worst in the field. How does Oklahoma stack up compared to some of the other competition? Surprisingly, Oklahoma has had a higher success rate than Texas, meaning Oklahoma is better at staying on schedule. Texas is significantly higher, though, in explosiveness. Texas appears to be more of a boom or bust, while Oklahoma is a grind and halt style team. When comparing Oklahoma versus Ohio State and Oregon, this is the classic order versus chaos matchup. Ohio State and Oregon are efficiency machines that do not beat themselves. For Oklahoma to win, they must drag these efficient teams into a high-variance, turnover-filled mud fight. Oklahoma enters the playoff not as the betting favorite, but as the field's most volatile variable. They are the team nobody wants to play because they turn football games into coin flips. Like Foreman, Oklahoma doesn't need to be better than the team for 60 minutes. No other team possesses this specific combination of number 1 rank run defense, number 1 rank havoc creation, and number 1 rank passing down explosiveness that Oklahoma does. If Oklahoma forces 3 turnovers and hits 2 deep balls on 3rd and long, they can beat anyone in the country, regardless of what their average PPA suggests. This can be very scary for the other playoff teams. What this means is that although Oklahoma may not be able to move the ball consistently in the 1st or the 2nd or the 3rd quarter, all it takes is 2 or 3 explosive plays for them to win the game. Oklahoma's defense is that good and that consistent to keep them in the ballgame, and the offense, if they take care of the ball, can do just enough to beat anyone. It may be ugly at times, and they may take a beating, but like old George Foreman, they possess that heavy, undeniable power when it matters most. Do you think the Oklahoma Sooners can make a run in the college football playoff? How far do you think they can make it? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. We'll see you next time. Boomer.